Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this 2017 BMAT Section 2 full walkthrough. I'm Faraz, I'm a Cambridge University medical student. If you guys are new here, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next BMAT walkthroughs and the rest of my BMAT content and Oxbridge and Medicine interviews content that I plan on releasing. One more thing is if you guys are sitting the BMAT this year, make sure you guys check out sigmamed.co.uk. It's a BMAT course that me and my friend Hamza have put together. It's been made by two Cambridge University medical students who scored in the top 10%. It's essentially a video library of everything BMAT, everything you guys need to know to score as highly as you guys possibly can. We've put so much work into this course and we're really proud of it. We're also adding the 2022 Section 2 full walkthrough to the course as well. And honestly, for just £30, which is the price of less than 1 hour of tutoring, it's really worth it. So if you guys are sitting in the BMAT this year, definitely check out sigmamed.co.uk. Link is in description below. But without further ado, here is the Section 2 2017 full walkthrough part 2. So, welcome to part 2 of this walkthrough. Question number 10. A piece of magnesium ribbon is dropped into a beaker of dilute aqueous hydrochloric acid at room temp. After a while, the production of bubbles of gas slows down. Which one of the following statements can correctly explain this observation? 1. The particles have less energy. That doesn't explain it. There's no reason they would because the temperature's not changing. 2. The concentration of hydrochloric acid decreases. That makes sense because you have less reagent, so therefore you'll have a slow rate of reaction. 3. The activation energy for the reaction increases. That's wrong. It wouldn't be changing in the middle of the reaction. So therefore only statement 2 is correct, and the correct answer option is C. Okay, so now question number 11. Two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in series with a cell. The resistor R1 has twice the resistance of R2. 6 statements about the circuit are given below. Which pair of statements is correct? The voltage across each resistor is the same, so we're working with the equation that V is equal to IR. So the resistor with double the resistance is therefore also going to have double the voltage. So therefore the voltage across R1 is twice that across R2. Statement 2 is correct. And since this is a series circuit, the current is the same everywhere. It doesn't split. So therefore, the current is the same in both resistors, and only statements 2 and 4 are correct, and therefore the correct answer option in this case is C. Okay. Question number 12. In triangle PRS, line QT is parallel to side RS. The rest of the information you can see on the diagram. What is the length of PS? So this is playing with the concept of similar triangles, which is essentially saying if two triangles are mathematically similar, they're going to have parallel sides like this, and their length ratio is going to be the same for all their lengths, and this seems to be something that they quite like in the BMAT. So let's call the length PS X. What we can therefore say is that QT to RS is equal to the ratio of PT to PS, and PT can be thought of as X minus 1.8. So let's create this ratio. 0.3 to 1.5 is equal to X minus 1.8 to X. We can now turn this into a fraction because we can convert between ratios and fractions. So 0.3 is a fifth of 1.5. So 1 over 5 is equal to X minus 1.8 over X. X is equal to 5X cross multiplying minus 9. Again, the way we've done this is 18 times 5 is 90, so we just divide that by 10. So therefore 4x is equal to 9, x is equal to 9 over 4, which is equal to 2.25 centimeters, which is going to be the length of PS. So therefore the correct answer option in this case is F. The main thing you need to notice here is that the triangles are similar, and you have to algebraify both PT and PS in order to find the length of PS. If you guys want to learn more about the techniques I've used and the methods I teach that I use to get an 8.6, check out sigmamed.co.uk. Me and my friend Hamza have put together a really comprehensive BMAT course that teaches you guys everything you need to know about doing well in the BMAT, working off the backs of the countless number of hours of experience we've had analyzing BMAT papers, going through them, finding the best strategies that we use to score highly. So it only costs £30, it's less than a single hour of tuition, and you have two Cambridge students telling you hours of content on how to do well in the BMAT. If you guys are sitting the BMAT this year, these £30 could be what makes all the difference. Honestly, it's really worth checking out. This is a product that I am very proud of. You can find it in the link in the description below at sigmamed.co.uk. Okay, so now question number 13. Dolly the sheep was born in 1996. She was unusual because she had no father. Sheep have a diploid number of 54 chromosomes in their body cells. The diagram shows the process of how she was produced. And we have this flow diagram. You have an egg cell from a donor and a mammary gland cell from a donor, fusing cells, nucleus, early embryo, implanted in the uterus of a third sheep, and we're developing a dolly. Okay. Which one of the following statements about this process are correct? Number one, the gamete cell contains 7 chromosomes. That's true because the diploid number is 54 and gametes are haploid, so 27 is half of 54. Okay, statement 2. The cells produced in step 4, the early embryo, had the same properties as stem cells. That's true because the early embryo has stem cell-like properties. 3. None of the cells involved in this process were produced by meiosis. That's false because the gametes in this sheep up here are. So therefore only statements 1 and 2 are correct, and the correct answer option in this case is answer option E. Okay. Question number 14 then. Disproportionation is the simultaneous oxidation and reduction of the same species in a reaction. Which of the following chemical equations does disproportionation occur? So with disproportionation, what we want to remember is oil rig. So oxidation is loss of electrons, reduction is gain of electrons. So let's look at the charges of each ion. So iron goes from a charge of 0 to a charge of +2. Copper goes from a charge of +2 to a charge of 0. However, disproportionation is when the same species is both oxidized and reduced. So in this case, it was iron that was oxidized and copper that was reduced, but the different species, so it's not equation 1. Equation 2, copper goes from a charge of +1 to a charge of 0 and a charge of +2. So it's both gained and lost electrons, i.e. it's being both reduced and oxidized, so therefore this is a disproportionation reaction. 3. Chlorine goes from a charge of 0 to -1 to +1 as well. And so therefore it's both gained and lost electrons, and this is also a disproportionation reaction where chlorine is undergoing disproportionation. 4. BaCl2, so it goes from a charge of +2 to +2. Na goes from a charge of +1 to again +1, so there's no disproportionation going on here. 5. Hg2Cl2, so it's going from a charge of +1 to a charge of 0 and a charge of +2. Again, both gaining electrons and losing electrons. So therefore, only reactions 2, 3, and 5 does disproportionation occur within, and the correct answer option here is E. The main thing you need to be able to do here is tracking the valency of each ion in the equation and understanding if it's been reduced or oxidized, and if it's been both reduced and oxidized, you have a disproportionation reaction. Okay. Question number 15 then. Uranium-238 is a naturally occurring alpha emitter. It can be used in the manufacture of the isotope plutonium-239, during which it is bombarded by neutrons. The process of converting a nucleus of uranium-238 to plutonium-239 is a 3-stage sequence of nuclear reactions. What is the sequence? Atomic numbers are 92 and 94. So what we want to go from, is 92, 94, 238 to 239. So in terms of stages, let's follow them through. So if we emit an alpha particle, we lose a 4,2 alpha. Here we gain a proton, but we lose a neutron. And here we absorb a neutron. So overall, we've lost 4 of the mass number, gain back 1, 3, gain back another 1, 2, but we need to overall gain 1, so it's not A. B, emit an alpha particle, absorb a neutron, emit another alpha particle. We've lost too much of the mass number. It's not B either. We've lost a total of 8 of the mass number, replaced one of those mass number losses with a neutron, but again, that's not enough to make up. C, emission of a beta particle, so we're going to gain 1 proton. Emission of an alpha particle, we're going to lose 4, 2 alpha, and absorption of a neutron. Again, it's not enough in terms of the change in mass number and the change in proton number. Now we've seen that the answer options are wrong. Why don't we think about how we could do this? So we want to increase the mass number by 1 and the proton number by 2. That would require losing 2 beta particles to gain 2 on the proton number, as well as absorbing a neutron to increase the mass number. So, because remember, when you lose a beta particle, there's no change to the mass number overall, because you're converting a neutron to a proton and an electron. So therefore, what we want to do is we want to absorb 1 neutron and emit 2 beta particles. So therefore, the correct answer option is F. This is a good case of where looking through the answer options is useful, because you can see that a lot of them just don't work. What you want to do is you want to gain a neutron and you want to gain 2 protons, and emitting alpha particles is not going to get you there. Right, that's 15 then. 16. The acceleration due to gravity at the surface of a planet is given by g is equal to gm over r squared, where m and r are the mass and radius of the planet respectively, and g is the gravitational constant. It is given the following figures. What is m to one significant figure? So let's isolate m first. G r squared is equal to gm. M is equal to g r squared over g. Now it's just a case of manipulating the numbers using the techniques I teach to speed up your calculations. So this is equal to 10 times 6 times 10 to the power of 6 all squared over 7 times 10 to the minus 11, which is then going to be equal to 10 multiplied by 36 times 10 to the power of 12 over 7 times 10 to the minus 11, which is equal to 36 times 10 to the power of 13 over 7 times 10 to the minus 11, which is going to be equal to 36 over 7 times by 10 to the power of 24. Looking at the answer options, we don't actually need to calculate 36 over 7. We know that 35 is 5 times 7. So 36 is just a bit above that, and we want it to one significant figure. And there's only 2 answer options with 10 to the 24 as part of the answer. So therefore, it's going to be 5 times 10 to the 24 kilograms without bothering with the last calculation, just because 2 is way too small, and we can clearly see that by eye. Again, one important thing with BMAT maths that I always stress is use the answer option to skip unnecessary calculations. Other things you want to notice I've done here is keeping in mind that dividing by a negative number, a negative power, leads to addition of that power, and just being careful when expanding things like this, remembering your rules in terms of indices, etc. Okay, question number 17 then. The diagram shows an external view of the human heart. Which of the following statements about the artery shown on the diagram are correct? 1. It is the site of diffusion of glucose and oxygen into the muscles of the heart cell. Wrong, because that's capillaries, and this is a subtlety you want to be aware of. 2. It transports blood at high pressure. Yep, that's what arteries do. 3. It contains muscle cells. Yep. Arteries have muscle cells in the muscular wall. So therefore only statements 2 and 3 are correct, and the correct answer option is G. Okay. 18 then. Propanoic acid is a monoprotic acid. Magnesium is a group 2 metal. Which of the following chemical equations is correct for the reaction between magnesium carbonate and propanoic acid? Okay, so Since it's a monoprotic acid and magnesium has a charge of Mg2 plus, we are going to need two propanoic acids. So it's going to be one of A, C, or D. Now, in terms of the formula of propanoic acid, we can see it is CH3CH2COOH, i.e. C3H6O2. So therefore, we can get rid of answer option D because the formula of propanoic acid is simply wrong. And it's between A and C. So the first half of each equation is correct. That works. You have two propanoic acids. You have one magnesium carbonate. Now let's examine the second half. So if you remember correctly, when you're reacting an acid with a metal, you're going to get carbon dioxide produced as well as water. So if you're reacting a carbonate, sorry. So therefore, since A doesn't have any carbon dioxide in it, we can get rid of A. And by process of elimination, the only correct answer option possible is C, where we're getting magnesium propanoate produced, carbon dioxide, and water produced. So therefore, for this question, the correct answer option is C. I hope you guys have enjoyed part 2 of this walkthrough. Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss part 3, as well as my subsequent BMAT Section 2 walkthroughs. I hope you guys are finding these useful. A lot of time goes into them, trust me. And if you guys are sitting in the BMAT this year, be sure to check out sigmamed.co.uk for a BMAT course that is up to date and teaches you everything you guys need to know, all for the price of less than a single hours of tutoring. Thank you for watching.